For today's prenatal yoga session, we're going to start in a comfortable seat. So you can be on the knees, be here just for a couple of minutes. You can have an easy seat, legs crisscrossed. You might extend them out in front of you or find a little butterfly pose. If you're like me and you feel like sitting crisscross, your hips want to round and shoulders roll forward, you can always grab your block or just some kind of pillow and place it just underneath the sit bones. So you're going to sit on the block or pillow. Tailbone and sit bones are connected, and that way the knees are dropping lower, helps you to keep lifted up. So go ahead and find a comfortable seat. Let your legs come to whatever works best for your body today. Once you've found yourself comfortable, let's bring both hands to your belly. Close your eyes. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Again, in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Now seal your lips. Let your breath travel in and out of the nose. No forcing it. Don't worry about what it's supposed to feel like. Just let it be. And observe your body. Depending on your stage of pregnancy, your body can feel vastly different from one day to the next. So just be aware of how you feel today. Allow yourself these few moments to find connection with yourself and also with that sweet little peanut doing gymnastics inside of your abdomen. Start to deepen your breath. Try maintaining level shoulders. You don't have to isolate and squeeze them so that they don't move at all. Allow your breath to open down in toward the belly so you feel this beautiful expansion. Breath in and exhale. Hug it in. Cradle your baby. Inhale, let the belly open. And exhale, cradle it in close. Keep deepening the breath. And the inhales nourish your baby and your body. The exhales take everything out that you don't need. One final round of breath. And gently open your eyes on the next inhale. Remove the block if you have anything underneath the hips. Let's come to hands and knees on your mat. So tabletop pose is also what we call this. Go ahead and spread your fingers into the mat. Squeeze the finger pads into the mat so you feel some support there. We're not just dumping into the wrists. Hands underneath the shoulders. Knees are underneath the hips. Press into the hands. Feel strength as you lengthen the arms and then plug the arms into the shoulder socket. So we're creating a nice, stable base here. Gaze is just beyond the tip of the nose. Nice long spine. Still breathing deep. On your next inhale, reach the right arm forward and reach the left leg back. So once you do that, you might notice that your toes point out to the left. You're going to want them to flex toward the floor. What that does is it squares your hips to the mat and it causes you to have to tense the core just enough to keep yourself stable. So go ahead and allow those muscles just to gently cradle and hold the baby. We're not trying to build any six packs against the baby right now. We're just breathing and spinal balancing. On your next exhale, replant the hand and knee. Inhale, extend the right leg and left arm. So again, toes point toward the floor. Think about lifting out of the shoulder just enough and lifting out of the hip just enough, the left hip, so you're not sinking in here. You want this to be nice and supported. Nice extension, long fingers reaching, heel reaching. Exhale, replant hand and knee. Other side, inhale, right arm, left leg. Let's breathe here. Notice if you are letting the belly pull down on your spine. This is a really great pose to strengthen the back. So feel the belly button pull in just a little. Rather, feel the hips tuck back just a little. Watch the difference. No support, support. So there's length and strength in the back body, lumbar spine. Exhale, plant hand and knee. Inhale, left arm, right leg, extend, feeling length. And again, feel the lumbar spine, feel the muscles hug tight and lift it up just enough so that you're not creating this deep curve from the weight of your belly. In fact, that's exactly what we're working against right now. We're trying to keep the back strong to support this growing life. Exhale, plant the hand, plant the knee. Let's do some cat and cow. Inhale, belly drops, chin lifts, shoulder blades squeeze, tailbone is up. Exhale, tuck your chin, round the tailbone and spine, feeling the shoulder blades separate away from each other. Inhale, belly drops, chin lifts, squeeze and strengthen the back body. Exhale, tuck and round the spine. Inhale, belly drops, lifting the tailbone, lifting the heart. Exhale, tuck and round, shoulder blades separate. One more time. Inhale into your cow pose. Exhale, tuck and round, cat pose. Come to a neutral spine on your next inhale. And from here, tuck your toes under. Lift your hips up. Shift the heart back toward the thighs, downward facing dog. Let your chin tuck enough so that your head hangs nice and heavy here. Go ahead and walk it out. Pedal out the feet. Alternate bending the knees. The heels may or may not reach the floor, but think about the action of grounding them down and at the same time, tailbone lifting up. So here is a curved tailbone. Lift the tailbone up, 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 up. Press back. You might bend the knees. From here, inhale, right leg lifts back behind you. Three-legged dog. Squeeze the back of your right leg. Exhale, bring right foot to right thumb. From here, lower your left knee down. Bring it into a nice low lunge. Untuck your toes. Bring both hands inside of your right foot. This is always such a nice pose when you're super pregnant and your belly needs somewhere to go. So as you become more and more pregnant, and I cue for your foot to your thumb, step the foot outside of your hand. That way you have space for your baby to move with you. From here, on your next exhale, bring both hands to right thigh, lifting up. So let's feel some contraction and release here. On your inhale, you're going to kind of lift the hips back and squeeze the muscles around the hips, especially the inner thighs and muscles in the front of the hips. Exhale, release the weight back into the right foot, leaning forward and down. Inhale, squeeze and lift up. Exhale, sink down. From here, plant your left hand nice and far away from the right foot if you're rather pregnant. And inhale, reach the right arm to the sky. So you're just nicely, gently twisting. If this is too much, the right hand can stay on the thigh. Just get a little gentle twist in the shoulders. If your left knee is okay with it, lean forward enough so the weight is off the kneecap and bend your left knee. Reach back with your right hand. Maybe find the left foot. So you're stretching the front of your left leg. The right foot is here for support. It may wiggle forward if you want a little more from this. The left hand is bearing a lot of weight. You can always make a fist and bring the knuckles to the floor if that feels better for you today. Or you can also grab a book or a block and lift you up out of this. Okay, we've got some options here. So play around and breathe. Inhale and release. Plant the hands. Tuck your back toes under so you're in a lunge. And step back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Go ahead and walk it out. Now chances are, if you're far enough into the pregnancy that your relaxin hormone has taken effect, you might be feeling nice and loosey-goosey.
which is fantastic, but it's also important to breathe and move slowly so that you don't overstretch something. Now relax and it's sneaky. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left foot to thumb or step it outside the hand, depending on how pregnant you are. Both hands inside of left foot. Drop the right knee down on top of the toes. So nice deep breaths here, feeling some stretch. And try lifting up through the chest so that we're not rounding. We know the fronts of our bodies are growing during this time, so we tend to round. Let's counteract that. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, hands to your left thigh. Press into the left thigh. Let it help lift you up. Let's do some action and release. Inhale, squeeze, pulling everything up. Belly button comes up. Energy, breath up. Exhale, release and press down. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, press down. One more time. Inhale, squeeze. Pulling everything into center line. Exhale, release down. Bring the right hand to the mat. Inhale, left arm to sky, or maybe the left hand stays on the thigh. It's really up to you. Listen to your body. If it feels too deep, don't do it. Don't pull something. Don't create a problem for you or the baby just for the sake of a twist. Nice deep breaths here. Feel expansion across the chest. If you're extending the arm, again, option to come to your fist if that works better for you, or a block. If your knee is okay with it, shift forward enough so you can bend your right knee. Exhale and reach back with the left hand, grabbing onto the foot. Maybe adjusting the right hand to take you deeper. Now, depending on which way that you pull the foot, if you're pulling it to your left or right, doesn't matter much. You're stretching different muscles in your quadriceps. There are 4 quads. Get it? Quad, 4, yeah. There's 4 muscles in there. So depending on the direction you take it, you'll stretch something new. Inhale, release. Plant both hands, tuck the right toes. And exhale, downward facing dog. Go ahead and walk it out. Let's find breath and movement with those poses. Inhale, right leg lift. Exhale, right foot to right thumb. Lower the back knee. Take an inhale here as both hands come to center. Exhale, hands come up to the thigh. Inhale to lift up. Exhale and sink. Plant the left hand. Inhale, right arm to sky. Exhale, bend the left knee and grab the foot. Inhale, release. Plant the hands, tuck the toes. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Full round of breath here. Inhale, left leg now lifts. Exhale, foot to thumb or outside of the hand. Lower the back knee. Inhale, hands inside the foot. Exhale, hands to left thigh. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink. Plant the right hand. Inhale, left arm to sky. Twisting low lunge. Bend your right knee. Exhale, hand to foot. Release, inhale. Plant the hands, tuck your back toes. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. I felt those poses with breath. Let's try a different pose. This next pose is also a slight twist if you take it there. It's going to be really nice if you feel some tight IT band action happening. It can also help if you're feeling a little piriformis pain. That's kind of that, you don't know what it is, but it's somewhere around your low back pain. So inhale, let's lift the right leg. Exhale, right foot almost to the right wrist. We're taking a short step here. Your feet need to be on train tracks, hip distance apart. Let your back heel ground and your left toes point out slightly. Here you're in pyramid pose or a version. You might enjoy staying here. It's a nice stretch for the back of the leg. If you can't quite reach the floor, you can also bring the hands to the shin, or you can grab a block and bring your hands to a block. Try really hard to keep this leg straight here. So come up as high as you need to, and you're going to pull the right hip back and shift the left hip forward. So here's a great place to be. One option is to stay here. Another option is to keep your left hand down to the floor or up on a block. And you're going to bring right hand to right hip. Again, this might be a great place to stay. Now feel your hips shift to your left just a bit. So shift right hip back, and then shift it to the left. You're going to start to feel a stretch along the outside of your right leg. If you bend the knee, you're going to feel it in the hip, but not so much all the way down through the outside of the knee. You can stay here, or you can inhale, right arm to sky, or revolved triangle. This is quite a twist, so if you're not feeling it today, stay with the hand on the hip and just pull the shoulder back. Shoulders away from the ears. Gaze can come to the horizon or maybe over the right shoulder. I know you're still here, breathing. Hips are shifting to the left, right hip is coming back. Exhale, bring both hands down, bend your right knee. From here, step that right foot all the way outside of the right hand. So now you're again in a nice deep lunge, back knee is lifted. Turn your right toes to the right, and then roll to the outside edge of your left foot. Keep your left hand planted. It should be a fantastic stretch for the outside of your right hip. If it's not, roll to the outside edge of the right foot too. Woo, baby. Inhale, right arm to sky. So this is a bit like a side plank. Yeah, I want it to be one. The sides of your core can still be strong, even though the front muscles are sort of going to the wayside to make space. So you can stay here and engage the left side body to lift away from the earth. If you want to try side plank entirely, you'll sweep the right leg back and stack side plank. You can also scissor the feet, but either way, we're rounding, imagining a ball that we're rounding away from. Squeeze left side body. One more inhale. Exhale, plant the hand, shift back to downward facing dog. Yeah. Prenatal yoga does not necessarily mean easy yoga. We're simply preparing the body, staying strong, staying open, so that we can be ready for labor and delivery. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step the left foot a little bit behind the left wrist. This will really depend on your flexibility. You might be able to take that foot all the way forward. It's up to your body. The right heel grounds, right toes point out. Stay folded into your pyramid pose. Feet are hip distance apart. They are not in a line. Nice straight left leg. You can always have something underneath the hands or grab the shin. From here, plant your right hand. Bring left hand to left hip and start to shift left hip back and to your right. Yeah, so we're just getting a nice stretch. You might even feel this in the back muscles of the body, depending on where you're at today. So go ahead and keep the right hand planted. When you're ready, inhale, left arm extends to sky. Revolved triangle. So if this is feeling pinchy at all in the shoulder, don't worry about the arm extending straight up. That just means that your shoulder is pointing this way and you're trying to hyperextend the arm. So feel this come from the shoulders and twist. Squeeze left shoulder blade back. One more inhale. Exhale, plant both hands and bend your left knee. Probably going to need to step the right foot back and left foot forward. Nice deep lunge. Turn your left toes to face the left side of the room. Outside edge of your right foot. You may come to the outside edge of your left foot. Inhale, left arm to sky. Super funky twisting lunge that's sort of also like a supported side plank. So we're squeezing the right side body. We're opening the left hip. Option to stay here. Or maybe you stack into your side plank. Nice long body. You can always also come down to your forearm. If you've got some wrist issues happening right now, finding balance, squeeze the right side body, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. One more inhale. Exhale, plant both hands. Shift back, downward facing dog. Yeah, let's walk the feet and hands closer together. We'll turn to the long edge of the mat, just so that you can see me. So you want feet to be about hip distance apart, turn the toes out. You're gonna bring the hands to the heart and sit all the way down into what we call Malasana, garland pose, or we say yogi squat. Yogi squat is a good place to be ready for your baby. So, as you're letting the hips sit down, if you get stuck at about here and you're like, this is as low as I can go right now, try something like a block
underneath the hips. So you're resting the hips. I don't really want this to be a really active for the thighs pose for you right now. That's another class. That's actually prenatal class 1. So right now we're just sitting nice and deep, as low as you can go. The knees are opening. Use the elbows to press against the knees. Hands come to the heart. Now you can simply relax the buttocks and the outer thighs and just press the knees open. Or you can engage the butt, the glutes, and the outer thighs and use those to also squeeze open. So you've got 2 things, 2 actions. Opening the hips. Keep the chest lifted. Maybe if your knees are okay with it, you kind of rock side to side, coming up on the ball of one foot, and then the other, and then the other. If you are into gardening, you're probably used to doing this. You come around and you're weeding, getting down low. Keep the back long, the chest lifted. And when you're ready, you're going to exhale, bring the hands behind you, and come down to a seat. Our final stretching today is a form of pigeon. So this class has become kind of knee intensive. If your knees are just not rocking today, I'll give you a second option for your pigeon. But pigeon pose, let's come into hands and knees, your tabletop pose. You're going to slide the right knee forward to your right wrist, and then bring your right foot forward towards your left wrist. You do not have to have the shin parallel to the front of your mat. You just want the right foot in front of your left hip. You don't want left hip to be resting on the right foot. So toe your way back, inch your way back with the left leg, making it long behind you. This is a great place to stay in pigeon. This might be enough for you today. This is meant to stretch the outside of your right hip. It might go back a little bit into these more gluteus minor muscles, and also opens the front of your left hip. So breathe here. If you feel ready with nice, deep, long breaths, you'll slowly walk yourself forward. You might come to the forearms, or you may walk your chest all the way down, drape it over the shin, and sink down into full sleeping pigeon. You can bring forehead to the mat. You can turn the head if that feels okay. Nice deep breaths. The key here is to be aware of your breath. If at any time your breath cannot maintain its consistent depth, if it starts to catch, that's your body trying to tell you, this might be too deep right now. Back off just a touch. Okay, so stay in tune with your breath. All of these poses are opportunities for you to get in touch with your body and your breath and to be aware so that you can be safe and honor your body. If this is not working for your knees, I told you I'd give you another option. I was getting so into that pigeon pose myself. You can come up to a seat or lean up against a wall or have something to slightly recline on. You're going to bend the knees, right ankle crosses over the left knee, and then walk the hips closer to your left foot. So you can be here. Now if you've got a really big belly, what you're going to need to do is have something behind you that reclines you partially, supports you, like a couple pillows to lean back on. And from there, then you can just inch this closer to you. Maybe you're grabbing the foot and knee and hugging it up around the belly, okay? So you've got some options here. Either way, we're stretching the outside of the right hip. Wherever you're at in this, let's release. If you just got to this pose and you're like, wait, I was waiting for you, go ahead and continue in that pose, and then I'll tell you when to switch on the left side. So if you have gotten your fill of pigeon on the right, come to hands and knees once again. Bring your left knee to left wrist, left foot toward the right wrist. Set the whole shin down and walk your right leg back nice and long. Ooh, the farther this leg gets back, the more intense this becomes. So again, you might stay here. Oh, the weight of the torso being at the center here instead of leaning is actually sometimes more intense. So Being here, allowing this weight to sink and open the hips. Nice deep breaths. And perhaps on an exhale, you take it a little lower and you come on the forearms, or maybe arms extend long. If you have stayed on the right side, now is the time to switch to your left. Choose whichever form of this you want. If you want to stay seated and just cross your legs gentleman style, great, do that. Or find this half pigeon on the floor. If you get into this pose, my friends, and you find that you're rocking to the left toward the hip that's getting stretched, you probably need to bring this foot down a little bit. Still in front of the right hip, but sometimes we crank this foot so far up and our hips just aren't ready to stretch that far now or if ever. So just bring the foot back a little bit so that you can feel balanced. Now breathe. Nice deep breaths. Feeling stretch. Using the breath, the inhales to nourish the muscles, the exhales to help them release. Every breath is assistance to your body. And therefore, every breath is assistance to your baby. Stay focused on your breath. Let that root you into this moment and help you to stay focused also on your body and on your mind. Letting the breath lull the mind into a nice light state of neutral observation. Inhale. If you're down, you're going to lift up, roll to your left side, and swing both legs out in front of you. From here, you're going to roll all the way onto your back. If you are before 16 weeks pregnant, or as long as you don't feel that nauseous feeling when you lie on your back, you're okay to lie on the back. If you are past 16 weeks and or lying on the back makes you start to sweat and feel nauseous, that means that this is not safe for you to lie totally on the back. And in that case, you'll get a pillow or something to lean up on, or you can simply come just to a seat and find some gentle breath here. So if you're coming all the way down into a Shavasana, extend the legs long. Let the toes fall away from each other. Try tucking the shoulders under you so that the arms roll out, palms face up. Couple of breaths for yourself here. And then close your eyes down. Let the breath flow naturally in and out of the nose. Maybe bring left hand to heart and right hand to belly. Find some very gentle awareness and love for this sweet little being growing inside of you. Feel your breath begin to deepen. Wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers. And when you're ready, roll over onto your side, letting the knees bend and come toward the chest. Your lower arm cradles the head. And from here, press up to a seat. Maybe keeping the eyes closed. Letting the hands rest on the knees or the thighs or in the lap. Bring the hands to your heart. Bow your head. Find some gratitude for this phenomenal body that you have been given that is incredibly growing, this additional beautiful being Thank you for sharing practice time. Namaste.